Welcome to this video tutorial. This one is a 10 marker which was on summer 2017 A-level paper 1 education with theory and methods, and the question that we're looking at is question 3, which was a 10 marker where you got an item and you were asked to apply material from that item. So you can see the question in front of you, and it was asking you to apply material from item A to analyse 2 effects of increased parental choice on pupils' experience of education. And as you can see, you get an item there, and you have got to be looking for some item hooks for you to hook your knowledge onto and then link it to pupils' experience. Here's the mark scheme just for you to have for your records. Okay, so if we look at the top band, good answers will have good knowledge and understanding on 2 effects of increased parental choice. That would be developed from 2 hooks from the item, so for example league tables and different types of schools, and they will be analysed or evaluated, either or, to get the top band marks. Okay, got a few sources that you could have referred to as well, and they're there for your reference, but not necessarily essential as long as you are answering the question clearly. So just to remind you what a 10 marker entails, where you have to apply from the item. You have 15 minutes to answer this. So that's roughly 7.5 minutes per paragraph. That's assuming that you don't get any additional time or timed rest breaks. You are expected to have 2 balanced paragraphs, so they should look the same, equal amounts, and make sure that you read the item carefully. Okay, the item is there on purpose. It's for you to develop your knowledge from, and if you don't use the item at all, you're going to limit yourself to 3 marks, even if you've got really good knowledge and understanding. If you've not attached your knowledge to something from the item, you are going to be down at that bottom band. The hooks are there placed for you to develop and add your knowledge to, and also, especially with this one, look for the question hook as well, because it gives you further opportunity to show application of knowledge. Okay. So what did the examiner report say? This was quite a lengthy report back from this question. So this question requires students to apply material from the item. Successful students did that. They had 2 explicit hooks, and there was the hooks there, league table and wider range of school types. And then the better students were able to apply these to parental choice and connect to pupils' experiences. You can then analyse it by linking it to social class experiences, and they have talked about educational triage and the work of Gurwitz. Okay, that's one way you could have applied it. Now, on the other hand, less successful students didn't apply their knowledge to the hooks, so if they didn't use the item, they failed to score higher than the bottom band. Some developed concepts such as parentocracy, A to C economy. They were not explicit in the item, and you had to use that item, I'm afraid. Majority of students were able to at least get 1 hook from the item, but even when they did, some of them didn't apply it to pupils' experiences. Some of them stopped short at leads to a better experience of school without elaborating or clarifying what exactly that meant. Some responses were focused solely on school or parental choice rather than the pupil's experience. So what I would suggest that you need to do there is just be really mindful of the hooks that are both in the item and in the question as well, in order to access those top band marks. Okay, so if we have a look at the question and breaking it down, you had to apply material from item A. There's 1 instruction or 1 hook. You then had to analyse 2 effects of increased parental choice. So you're looking for 2 things from the item for you to hook on your knowledge, and then you had to link it to pupils' experiences of education. Okay, so just making sure that we are linking it to all those parts of that question. Your item hooks, on the other hand, first sentence is what the examiners refer to as preamble. To me, that is just rewording the question. Okay, there's nothing really there beyond the question. It's the second sentence where there is the 2 item hooks. the wider range of school types, and the league tables on school performance. And don't forget, you've got that third little bit of a hook which is linking to that part of the question, and it's reminding you once again to make sure that you are linking it to pupils' experience of education. So you've got two reminders there to link it to. So you can see why the examiner in the examiner commentary highlighted the point that some pupils failed to do that. So let's have a look at a possible student paragraph where you can see how the student has linked it to the different parts of the question. Okay, so this was one of my students that I've got permission to use her answers. So we've got a clear link to the question. One effect of increased parental choice is, according to item A, clear explicit link to the item, the wider range of school types. Then she starts to attach her knowledge because she then starts to elaborate on what the fact the government have introduced wider school types that parents can choose from, which is enhancing the experience of education. So she's showing that she's recognised that there are a number of things that she's got to do here. So here she's clarifying. So government policies were introduced under the Labour government, and this introduced specialist schools. These are schools which may specialise in a certain subject, which might have highly skilled teachers from certain areas. So for example, they might be a science and technology. Okay, so she's given a little bit of knowledge from that first hook, which is about specialist schools. And this has led to increased parental choice in the sense that parents have a wide range of schools which specialise in different areas to choose from. And this has had an effect on pupils' experience. So now she's developing it and she's going into a little bit more detail about the pupils' experience. And this is where students often stop short. So she starts to elaborate. So if a child enjoys science, then the parents can look for a school which specialises in science, and this will enhance their educational experience in the sense that they'll be in a school which is specialised. And this is suggesting that parental choice has had a positive effect on pupils' educational experience. However, this parental choice, so now she's got the evaluation, or a bit of analysis really actually, because she's going into class differences here, is that the impact of a working class child, because as a Bordeaux sociologist pointed out that working class parents lack the cultural capital, so she's got a concept there, may not be aware of the benefits of specialist schools on the child's educational experience. Okay, so you can see how that student is clearly linked to the three parts of the question. She's got the item hook, she's linking it to parental choice and the knock-on effect onto pupils' experience, and she's got a little bit of analysis there at the end. Okay, so that's just a basic way that you could develop it. Other ways that you could have developed from the range of school types could have been the specialist schools, even private schools to a certain extent could deviate from the national curriculum. This means that there could be a personalised learning plans or specialised timetables which will all impact the student's experience. Furthermore, these students could have extra revision, and it's catering to the needs of a gifted child, which is nurturing and developing, which is then leading to further success when they leave, which might then raise their achievement. And this is all linking into that pupil's experience there. Okay. Looking at other points to develop, so you could have developed from the item the league tables. So a little bit of knowledge there. Schools are ranked on examination performance, causes competition between schools, introduced by the New Right government in the 1988 Conservative government, and it was all to do with raising standards by putting schools into competition with each other. This increased parental choice or parentocracy, and you could refer to David concept there. Encourage this competition in order to raise standards, and you could link in other concepts such as the open enrolment. So because of having increased league tables, your application to the pupil experience is that if you're in a good school that are at the top of the league table might have better experience in the fact that these schools will have more experienced teachers, they'll have more resources, and that would lead to high levels of achievement. And you could then compare it to schools at the bottom of the league table, which will have more limited resources. You could link it into the funding formula. Student numbers equate to how much money they've got to spend on each student, and that might mean that there's less resources, and that may lead to low achievement. Again, talking about the pupil experiences. Some students linked it into the A to C economy in order to move up the league table. Teachers and schools tended to triage their students into those that will pass anyway, hopeless cases, and the borderlines. Okay, so labelling could have experienced by students they were deemed as a hopeless case, and then they have poor educational experiences because they're in the bottom band, all because of this competition and parental choice. You could have got your analysis by making the class comparison. So we've got Gerwitz with the privileged skilled choosers compared to the disconnected local choosers, and you could have had the differences there, talking about cultural capital, and that league tables only have a positive effect on middle class students compared to working class students. Any more points? Application to pupils' experience could also mean better education, leading on to better careers, lead on to university, which is things that students did mention when I was marking. Working class might be locked into a cycle of underachievement due to being in a failing school, which is leading to poor educational experiences there. And also there was further analysis that you could have had to get further AO3, especially with league tables. Students from ethnic minority groups may not understand the league tables, therefore they're not going to benefit from it. Okay. So what I've done there is just on this video tutorial, I've just gone through the 10 marker and the things that you need to be looking for and the ways that you could have developed your answer using the 2 hooks in the item. Okay, hopefully you found that useful. If you've got any questions or any comments, pop them in the comments below, and I look forward to speaking to you again. Thank you.